I've been lifting for quite a while now, and I've dealt with my fair share of body dysmorphia. In fact, back in 2023, the first 6 months, it was all I could think about. Nothing else went through my mind. Specifically, it was over muscle imbalances, such as my right side being bigger than my left, or my left side being worked more than my right, and feeling different there. And it drove me nuts. I remember just sitting in class on some days and literally touching left, right. Is this side bigger than the other? Flexing. I wasn't even paying attention to what the teacher said or any of my friends. I was just so engulfed in myself. It was terrible, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone. But if you're going through it right now, this video will help you. So as I said before, in class, I'd keep checking my left and right side if one was bigger than the other. And the first realization was that was my trigger that led me down a rabbit hole of, am I lifting properly? Am I doing anything right? Am I worth it? And hence my body dysmorphia. So the first thing I did was realize when I had those triggers. I basically taken one of my sister's hairbands and wrapped it around my thumb like this, right? And whenever I felt myself thinking about it or starting to touch both sides to see which one is bigger, or even went through that thought process, I would take the hairband like this and slap myself back into reality. It sounds really simple, maybe even a bit wishy-washy, but this is what helped me, and it might help you too. The next thing I did was change my focus in lifting. Previously, I'd only focus on aesthetics and how I looked and how big I looked. And while that can take you some places, it's not sustainable. And it's what ultimately led me to feel so worthless because of a simple thing such as an imbalance. So instead, I downloaded an app called Strong on my phone, and I started tracking my lifts to the number. Every rep, set, weight, PR, everything. And every time I saw that I gained strength, I would get a dopamine burst, and I would feel happy not because I looked bigger, but because I was stronger. It's a much more quantitative way of lifting, and it's more consistent, and it stops you from feeling not worth it because of how you look. Finally, I talked to a guy who'd been lifting for a lot longer than me, about 10 years, and he told me a lot of things when I told him about my problems. But one thing he told me I will never forget. By lifting, you're building a physique better than 90% of the population, and every year that just increases. This year it's 90%, next year it's 91%, then it's 92%. No matter how you think you look, it's still better than most people. It's still better than you were yesterday, and that's what's important. You don't go down, you don't lose your physique unless you stop lifting or start eating like an idiot. Just have trust. Maybe you don't see it, but you don't lose progress. The work you've put in is worth it. Maybe it's just that you don't see it, but you will one day. After thinking about that for a bit, it felt like a click moment for me. Maybe it will for you too. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe in a year, you'll come back to this video and realize that was a click moment. But realize that you are worth it. You're not defined by how you look. If you're going through this, you've got my complete support, and I'm rooting for you. I know you can get through it. Go write something supportive in the comments, because you're not the only one going through it. And whatever you say can help the people around you. Alright, like, share, and subscribe. And go watch another video of mine.